Hi, this is Lori Saturday Trask, and this is Lori Saturday Live YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. We are here today with Bianca Laurendine. We are so excited to have her here today. Bianca is responsible for part of the show. She films for us and directs and produces, and she's our technical support, all in one. It's amazing. Thank you, Bianca. We
You're
love
welcome.
you. I'm not interviewing her for her technical skills today, though, even though she's very technically inclined. She's been a part of my life for a really long time. I think we met when you were taking the shaman wheel probably 5 or 6 years ago, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and so I was actually working with my shaman at the time. I was actually working with her teaching the medicine wheel classes, and Bianca was like our third class. She was the last class, I think, that I taught with my shaman, and immediately there was just this connection there. She's an amazing person. She has amazing things that follow around her, and we have just been in each other's paths ever since, which is great. So grateful for that. But you have a long history of medical intuitiveness.
Yes, yes, I do.
And also metaphysical events happening around you, and even very strong premonition. So I want you to talk about a little bit about when that started for you. How old were you? Give me an instance. I know there's something about finding a body actually at one time.
Oh God.
How old were you?
Well, I'll start way a little bit further back. So when I was 5 years old, I had this kind of thought. I don't know where it came from, but I was next to a tree, and I said, "Tree flows from me and from me into the tree." And I'm like, that's something a 5-year-old shouldn't probably think. And so like when I was younger, my friends and I were just playing with stuff, and I'm like, oh, I can do this with energy and that with energy. So it just escalated and evolved from me transmutating into a Native American woman to where I started giving readings online, and it got really popular.
And how old were you at that point?
I was like, probably like 14, 15.
Wow.
And
that's really awake for that kind of age, by the way. That's amazing.
Thanks.
That's amazing.
And so then everybody wants love readings, like, oh, is he like me? So I'm like, okay, well. Then finally I get this one person come in, and they lost their brother or cousin or something, and it was very interesting. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, all right, I'll go in my little mode, and and then I started seeing images of a ravine, and I saw a body, and I'm like, here it is. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll try this. And so then a week later they came back and said, we found him, it's exactly where you said. And I'm like, oh.
And he was passed.
Yeah, he was passed.
It's very cool that you did something like that, but it's very sad that it had to be in that situation. So that scared you a little bit as a kid, huh?
I shut it off for several years, and then I tried to see if I could even do it again. And I found another one. And I'm like, that's kind of creepy. Yeah.
So did you kind of start thinking that your gifts were only meant for something like that, and that's not the realm you wanted to be in, maybe?
It was just a little weird. I think it was compounded by, like, I always knew my grandfather on my mom's side was going to die first, and then, like, I had two relatives on my mom's side, no, two relatives, one on my mom and one on my dad's side, die on my birthday. So it was like I became sensitive to death, or became realizing that I'm sensitive to death. So
right.
And from there, it's been evolving to like, oh, well, if I'm sensitive to death, then I could probably like do other stuff like medical healing, and so I started doing some medical intuitive stuff as well.
Can you talk? I love that subject. That's amazing. You and I have had readings from each other over the years and done all kinds of different metaphysical methods, modalities with each other, which has been fun. And I think you're very, very talented.
Thank
you have to be one of the best medical intuitives I've ever met.
Oh, thank you.
When it comes to it. You don't use it very often, but when you do, it's amazing. You've helped me several times in some different situations where I needed a little insight on what was going on. If you are scanning somebody, can you talk a little bit about how you see things? Do you see things in color? Does it look like a graph? Does it look like, is it 3D? Is it 5D? Is it, I don't, like just give us a little insight into the mind of how you see it when you're looking at somebody's body looking for something going on.
Well, I've seen aura pictures, and I'm pretty sure everyone here has seen some form of aura picture, and it looks like an aura picture, but like red would be like, well, this is an issue. Yellow is like caution. It's like, a traffic light pretty much. And I see black, it's like, might need to work on that. And I can actually almost physically see the tension, and you get that moment whenever I do it. It's like, ooh, am I doing this right? Then you're like, well, I gotta help this person, so I gotta suck it up and grow a pair and then help them, otherwise I can't help them. And so then from there, getting my guides through your awesome meditations like Alice and Aldar, who are like peanut gallery in my head most of the time. Then there's been different forms of energy that I've brought through with them, and
I have to say really quick, I have experienced in an actual session with you feeling their hands go into my body, almost making me throw up because it's so weird, and pull something out energetically. And that was, I'll never forget that as long as I live. So I know that Elias and Aldar are real. So there's no doubt in my mind that they're not fictional characters in your peanut gallery, because I've actually felt them. So it was a really crazy experience. Have you had other people have experiences like that?
It was probably the most strong with you.
Okay.
But it's gotten to be an integral part of my healing, along with my grandmother Owl and Hemdal and Chantus and a array of other guides that are like my.
So you're taking an array of modalities, so and you've kind of combined them.
Yeah, grandmother Owl's Native American.
Okay.
Hemdal's the Norwegian god that guards the bridge to Asgard for passing over life after death. And then there's Ariel, the angel of like healing in animals. And so
Very
I guess
cool.
the death part is Hemdal, and the aliens are. They said we're not aliens. I'm like, well, yeah, you are. So
just right now you are.
Yeah, and so
we're getting to know you a little better.
And like, for example, one of our friends, Julie, she resonates probably the most with Grandmother Owl. And I was like, are you, do you have a connection with feathers? And she's like, yeah, I do. I'm like, well, her energy was mainly just Grandmother Owl. But a lot of other people like you resonate the best with Elias and Aldar.
Right.
And so when I do healings with them, gets down to like, you get down to the mitochondria and the nuclei of the cellular structure and energize that, and you can feel the push in the blue, and it's like blue electric veins going through and pulsating, and you connect it from of Father Sky and Mother Earth, and I'm starting to be able to do a continuous cycle of energy to fuel that. But it's like any drug per se, right? If you keep causing harm to your body, it's not going to do you any good. So and with their help, I can help restart it, but you have to actually change the pattern physically.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're not doing it for them, you're kind of doing it with them. So you're starting the process, but they have to continue that process. Absolutely. Well, I know like the very last time that that you worked on me was for a migraine, and one that I'd had for like 3 or 4 days that was debilitating, and I don't typically get them. But I had this one for quite a while, and you just happened to show up at the house and was like, oh, well, let me work on you. And I was like, and I was hesitant. I was just like, oh, I just need to take some Advil and go to bed. But you worked on me, and it was instantaneous. Like the second that I walked out of the house and I laid on the ground for just a second, my headache was instantly gone. And it was amazing. It was really, really amazing. So I just have to say that thank you for that. That was absolutely amazing. You're an amazing healer. I know that you don't do this as a full-time job though.
No, no.
So really you do a lot of referral and people that are in our group and this, that, and the other. But are you thinking about taking on some extra clients here and there?
I am thinking about taking on extra clients. So yeah, I think my guinea pig phase is coming to an end.
I think you've guinea pigged long enough. We're talking like 18 years of guinea pigging. Like she's
pretty much.
In her 30s and been doing this since she was 14. So I also really quickly wanted to touch on the technical support that you've been offering. It's through you that we've been able to film this YouTube channel and your equipment. And you're gonna pretty much start offering that as a service to the metaphysical community, correct?
Yes, I'm going to be broadening out and trying to do a bigger array of edits and stuff on our videos, and try to offer some more support, because I know that there's not many people in the metaphysical realm that can do technical items, so want to offer training and up for that, so we can help get people up to speed and be able to get their services out in the public and have a lot more eyes on
Or
it.
if they're having an event and want to hire you to come and film the event and edit it and add a card at the end and some other things that are really beyond me. Don't ask me for that support because I don't have it. That's Bianca. Then they can come to you for that too, and you'll display some services for that.
Absolutely.
So that information to get a hold of you will be at the card at the end of this show. So if you want to know how to get a hold of Bianca, her information will be at the card at the end of the show. I think I said that.
Yeah.
But so is there anything else that we didn't touch on that you've been doing recently, maybe that you want to chat about?
I enjoy rune readings as well, so that's fun. Yeah.
You've been doing that a long time.
Yes, I have. And I'm starting to get back more into tarot too, but runes, it's kind of weird with him though, because one of the teachers I've had in the past, Kadrick Olson, I call him the rune master. Like, people are intimidated by him, but he's
a very cool dude. Yeah. Yeah.
And when you get into his energy, it's in his runes, they just kind of really, it's like, wow.
We're gonna get him on the show.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
And so you get to learn so much about him, and I've learned how to charge him and all that. And I asked him one time, like, this guy's Hemdall, and like, whenever I go into my meditation, I see him, he's like sleeping, and he's like, well, that's normal. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm not crazy. And they just put the rune on Suze and push it towards him, like, oh, then he started talking to me. I'm like, wonderful. I gotta force you to speak to me. That's not what a guy's supposed to do. So,
I think of a lot of us have that pull and push relationship with some of our guides.
Yeah, I have Hemdall on one side that's like snoring with a snot bubble, and I have Elias and Elder that are like, I'm like, okay. And so the more mellow ones are like, Chanteuse is like, la, and Grandma Owl is like, I see.
So you go to your day job for your sanity.
Yeah, there's some that's it's not as sane, but I do love it. I love working with the people I do. Mm-hmm. They're just as crazy as me.
That's awesome.
I mean, you're in the right place when you're adding anime to a PowerPoint and be presented in front of thousands of people,
right? And
people are behind you talking about vaccines getting injected to you. People or the medical government can track you on a daily basis, and I'm like, I am home.
Right. Yeah, the conspiracy theory place. Yeah, I'm so into that. So I agree wholeheartedly. Well, I am so grateful to have you as my support system, as just everything, directing, producing, editing, all of it. I just want to say I love you and thank you so much. And
same. I love you
thanks
too.
for letting me interview. I had to prompt her for an interview, guys, but I finally got her to do it. So
and if you guys have never been to Laura's Meditations, I guarantee you come here, you will experience things you've never experienced before. We have people that have just evolved beyond imagination, so you should definitely come to one of our meditations.
It's our group. Our group is amazing, and we just keep bringing in wonderful people.
Mm-hmm.
We do. We have fun.
Same, you too.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks everybody. Stay tuned for Bianca's information if you'd like to get a hold of her for any of the marketing videos or any of her healing work or medical intuitiveness. And thanks again for watching Lori's Saturday Live. See you next time.